It was one of those blazing summer afternoons when the sun hits so hard even the cows start giving you side-eye for existing. I had just finished installing a brand new ranch pool. Nothing fancy, just a deep blue rectangle of peace right behind my porch. After weeks of back-breaking ranch work, it was finally time to fill it up. I connected the well pump, turned the valve, and watched that clear, cold water gush in. Heaven on earth. About 30 minutes into the fill, I heard that sound. The screech of overpriced brakes and the rapid-fire clack of designer heels. Brenda, the Oak Ridge HOA queen herself. She stormed up the gravel road like she was leading an invasion. Sunglasses perched on her head, clipboard in one hand, phone in the other. "What do you think you're doing?" she shrieked. I blinked, up filling my pool. "You can't do that. There's a drought ordinance. Oak Ridge HOA rules clearly state." I cut her off. "Brenda, I'm not under HOA jurisdiction. This ranch predates your little suburb by 50 years. She gasped like I'd just confessed to arson. "You can't just opt out of the HOA." "Pretty sure I can," I said, pointing to the massive steel sign by the fence that literally read, "Private property, not HOA land." She ignored it. "I'm calling the police. This is an environmental crime." I shrugged. "Suit yourself." She stomped off, muttering into her phone. I figured she'd waste a few minutes ranting and then leave. Nope. 10 minutes later, I heard sirens. 3 county cruisers rolled up the dirt road. Brenda was standing there, all proud and puffed up like she'd just saved the planet. There she yelled, pointing at me. "That's him! He's wasting community water." The first officer, Deputy Ramirez, stepped out of the car. A guy I'd known for years. We'd fished together at the lake. "Hey, Judge," he said with a grin. "Pool day." I nodded. "Yep, just topping it off." Brenda's eyes nearly popped out. "Wait, Judge." Ramirez turned to her. "Ma'am, what seems to be the problem?" "He's violating Oak Ridge HOA drought policy. He's stealing water from the neighborhood." Ramirez looked at me, then at her, then back at me. "Ma'am, this ranch uses a private well. He's not part of your HOA," she stammered. But he's right next door," he chuckled. "Next door isn't the same as under your control." Brenda looked like she'd just swallowed a cactus. "So you're not going to arrest him?" Ramirez smirked. "For filling his own pool?" "No, ma'am. But we might stay a while to make sure the water's safe." And that's when I saw it. The look. The officers were sweating in the heat, and the pool was glistening like paradise behind me. I grinned. "Y'all got towels in those cruisers?" Ramirez laughed. "Don't tempt us." "Too late," I said, walking to the edge and cannonballing straight in. Water splashed everywhere, even hit Brenda. She screeched like a car alarm. The officers looked at each other, shrugged, and next thing I knew, 3 cops were in full uniform swimming. In my pool, hats off, badges shining, laughter echoing across the ranch. Brenda stood there drenched, mascara streaking down her cheeks, muttering about abuse of power and property rights. Then one officer shouted, "Hey, Judge, you got any barbecue?" I pointed at the smoker. Brisket's been going since sunrise, so we ate, swam, and blasted old country songs while Brenda filmed everything, yelling about evidence. A week later, the sheriff himself called me laughing so hard he could barely speak. "Judge," he said, "the county just reviewed Brenda's footage. Turns out it shows you hosting a perfectly legal community safety inspection." The Oak Ridge HOA ended up getting fined for filing a false emergency report. And Brenda had to write a public apology, which she somehow managed to make sound like my fault. But my favorite part. The following summer, the sheriff's department officially started holding their annual pool safety picnic at my ranch. Brenda hasn't shown up since. Subscribe to HOA Conflict Story for more.